So here are a few things that you just need to know in order to get ahead, to get to that spot where you want to be, especially if in your 20s, because a lot of times there's a misconception that, oh, in your 20s you're still young, go live, like there's still time. But there needs to be a point in time where you know when you're falling behind. The first thing is, don't fall into the social media trap. Like, it's really just all a trap. And everyone wants to post their highlights, the peak parts of their lives, but that's never the bigger picture of what they're really going through, because it's way bigger. Like, you only know what people show you. Like, I only show people what I want them to know about me. Like, I'm not gonna share my worst and craziest memories with these people that don't really know who I am. And on social media, it's like you feel connected to that person through that image, but it's just all a trap. Everyone posts these big vacations and dramatic scenery, all these cars that aren't even theirs, and that they're living their best life, and you're at home in your bed at 10 p.m. wondering why you're not out doing those things, when it's just not the real world. Like, that's just not how life is all the time. That's only a moment. You see that moment, and that just goes to say, like, also just appreciate the moments that you have, because you don't know, like, how much these moments can mean to you until later, at some point in life, when you go back and think about times that you had where you didn't know if it was going to work out or not. Also, just stop wasting money. That's such a killer for our youth nowadays. Everyone just wants to spend all their money on these lavish things, which are good. I got a full bucket list of things I want to buy, but it's better if you actually see the bigger picture of what you're spending your money on. Because sometimes, I buy things. I don't always look at my bank account, and then like 2 weeks later on a random Tuesday, you look and you're like, wow, did I really need that extra, you know, 3 pairs of shoes in the same month? Like, I don't think it was necessary. And one of the biggest things for me, like personally, I know a lot of people can relate to this, is just food. Even if you go to the gym goer or not, like, this isn't about who's being fit and who's not. That's a whole nother topic for something else. But let's just talk about how good food is and how convenient. You can Uber Eats, you can get food delivered to your doorstep. Like 20 years ago, it was not like this. Like, you cannot just have food come to your doorstep, and it's so easy to binge eat and just spend that extra money on food, and a lot of my money goes to food. And that's something that I try to get better, is just cooking meals at home and reducing the amount of times that I have to go out. And also, I don't know what it is, but something just hits so different about making a home cooked meal. Like, I feel like a lot of people like me feel like after you make a home cooked meal and it's actually good, it just feels like so much better. I don't know, it's just a different feeling from eating fast food, which, don't get me wrong, like, I'm always gonna have, that monthly budget and my expenses for fast food, because it's just a given. But just stop wasting money on things where you don't really need and it's a want, and make sure the needs are a priority before those things that you want, because those can end up screwing you over. in the long run. This leads me to my next biggest thing, which I think is really important to, like, especially as, a young man to do, is to do things that are hard. Like, there's so many times where I've been in an uncomfortable position and I just wanted to be like, I'm not, like, I got no business being here. But it's so easy to think that way when that's all you think. Like, when something gets hard, you bail on it. But even for me, like, I grew up playing football, so we all had this, tough finish, tough, be strong mentality, which plays a huge part in my life because you take those things anywhere. And I know you can get that in sports, that, competitive driven mentality. And you just got to do things that are hard sometimes. That might mean taking that job, or applying for that job that you think is, out of your reach. That might mean, going to the gym, because that builds. Going to the gym is based on discipline, or are people kicking their heels? Like, yeah, I get to go to the gym tomorrow. I don't think it's that kind of thing. I think it's such a good way to build yourself, because it takes a mindset to, be able to go to the gym every day. I think that's one of the, like, biggest benefits about actually going, is it helps you build yourself. It's something that's hard, and you're conditioning yourself to do things that are hard. And the more you do things that are hard, like, you will be rewarded at some point. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, if you believe, you'll get where you want to be, which is, a good thing to think, and understand why that you should think that way. And to be honest, it's really because life is hard. Like, that's just the hard truth, like, reality of it. Like, taxes, gas prices. You can't even buy an Arizona iced tea at the gas station for 99 cents, like $1.99. What? There used to be 25-cent bags of chips. Like, I don't even think you can buy a 25-cent bag of chips anymore. And it was like 50 cents for, like, a regular size bag. You can get 2 for $1, like, all types of crazy deals. And now, is it even worth going to the gas station? Do I really want to buy a $3.50 Snicker bar? And I mean, that's just being cheap. I mean, that's closer to $5. But life is hard financially, and it eats into our mental health, which is something you gotta take care of. Do your best to take care of your mental health. And that's why it's healthy to get away from all the finances, get away from your job, have a hobby outside of your job, or you're just gonna be, unless you're doing what you love, unless you're doing what you truly love, you want to find a job that you can wake up and tolerate. I'm not gonna say you gotta, oh, I love my job. Oh, like, some people live through their work, which can have its pros and cons depending on who you are. But build an identity outside of your job, make relationships with people, have friendships, have a connection with someone, like, over the weekend. It doesn't even have to be romantically, just talking to a friend, even, hopping on the game with the guys. That stuff means something. You don't want to just be a work what do they call it, the cows, a working mill at a farm, where you're just pumping out hours of work and not, getting anything in return besides a paycheck. But you're going to want those connections, and you're going to want something outside of your job to keep you going, whether that's, for my athletes, going to the rec, join, like, a rec league, or go to the park, run some routes. I'm not going for no run, but hey, if that's what you got to do, go for a run. Like, just something to get away from that work identity, because you can go through an identity crisis through your job. If that's literally you eat, sleep, and work, and you're working all this overtime, but you don't really have an identity outside of that job, it can be hard. Like, it's going to make it harder for you. And sometimes I can understand, like, even for me, like, I need that space. I need that time to be alone, move in silence, because I've always been the person where I feel like I can figure out problems alone. And then I also don't want to put the burden on other people. And sometimes you're just going to have to put your head down and work. Like, sometimes you're just going to have to get through it. And maybe you could have gotten there if you just pushed a little bit harder, if you actually look at the process instead of the destination, because what you learn in the process can mean so much more of that journey or that destination you were trying to get to. If you focus on the process, it's so much harder to fail, because you're going to gain something out of that process, whether there's something that you learned or a mistake that you made that you're not going to do again. But some people don't even think of it like that. You gotta be intentful about the process and where you're trying to be, or else it's like time is just gonna fly by you. Because a lot of the times it's not about the destination, when it's really just been all about the journey and how much growth, what changed, and why did you make those decisions that you made. Like, those are the things that matter, and things you can carry on, and other important parts of your life. The next time you might have to push a little harder. The next time you might have to study just a little bit more for that exam, because you know that these things just don't come easy in life. A lot of the times you're gonna have to work to get to where you want to be, because I know, we all have big goals, whether we want to admit it or not. Like, we all have things you want to achieve, and you got to take action on it, or else it's just going to sit around. It's going to sit right next to you. It's not going to go anywhere unless you do. And I know that can be hard, because our generation is filled with so many distractions. You got TikTok, which is an infinite loop of brain rot. Man, the For You pages I've seen that some people have, I thought mine was bad, but man, just endless scrolling. You got Instagram, you got Facebook, Gen Z. We still call it Twitter, but there's just so much out there. We got streaming now, the unlimited content on YouTube. There's literally an infinite amount of content. It's like, our brains probably can't even comprehend how much content is out there for us to just, our dopamine receptors gotta be fried. There's just no way. There's no way. So I feel like, these two go hand in hand. Limit distractions and work hard. I feel like that's, one category in itself. And then that just leads me to my last point, actually. With that is that it's going to be okay. Just know that it's going to be okay. Sometimes you really just got to take a deep breath and look at life and just tell yourself it's going to be okay. Because just think about it. Like, think about the hardest moments in your life where you were like, damn, like, this is the most down bad I've been in a long time, or this is one of the worst times of my life. And just think about how you felt in those moments at your lowest, or when you were down bad, and think about now. A lot of the times you can look back at that memory and sometimes just laugh at it, or you can see like how you've grown from it. And that's part of life, being a human. This is all our first time as being 20. Like, you only get to be 20 one time. You only get to be 21 one time. You only get to be 22 one time, etc. It's going to be okay. You've gotten through all the hard stuff in your life, and just, keep God's strength with you. And to remember, what doesn't kill you will always make you stronger in the end. So keep those things in mind.